on First Alert Weather Extra. As drought continues across the state, we could also see the chance for high record temperatures tomorrow and Friday. We're on your side with just how warm we could get as we head into the weekend and how long these dry conditions will stick around.
And today at plus 1 month is remaining in this year's Atlantic hurricane season. We're bringing updates on what we've seen so far this season and what we're expecting as we head into the month of November.
Live on your side, First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
Well, welcome in everyone. JP, how you feeling?
Great to be here, hanging out. Wes and the rest of the gang, they're over in Utah programming NOAA Weather Radios. We're going to be talking to them in just a little bit.
Yeah, and, we certainly will.
Yeah, so November 30th, the last day of the Atlantic hurricane season.
It's coming. We're almost there.
We're almost there. I feel like we're in pretty good shape. Early October was busy though.
Yeah, things really ramped up for us real quick there.
That's right. Even though the tropics are quiet, there's still 1 month remaining in this year's hurricane season.
We're going to talk about that in a second, JP. We're actually going to talk about the next big thing, what's happening right now, a live look out in Reform. This is the Reform, Pickens County, excuse me. Alabama property development, temperatures in the upper 70s, dew points in the low 50s, dry conditions all across central Alabama. And like JP was just saying, it's been so quiet here, but also in the tropics. The Atlantic Basin area, the Atlantic Basin, I should say, we haven't been seeing any activity as of right now, but we're continue to watch it because hurricane season is still around. We'll talk more about that in just a bit. But look at those current temperatures across the area. It feels pretty good out there. It's not too cold, not too hot. We've got upper 60s, low 70s. No wet weather expected for you this evening. Overnight lows down in the 50s as we bring in early Thursday morning, anywhere from low to mid 30s. But the next big thing is really just how warm tomorrow's going to be. Mid to upper 30s for many areas. Kind of near like 87 in Tuscaloosa, 85 in Jefferson County. We've got some low 80s though to the north like Coleman and in Blount County there. 87 down in Demopolis, 82 in Clay. And part of what being so hot tomorrow makes it a day that we could almost see near record temperatures. So take a look at our record highs for October. 1927, 86 in Birmingham. We might just beat that. 86 in Tuscaloosa, 2010, and 84 in Anniston, 2016. Notice our average highs in the low 70s, but we could really be beating some record temperatures as we approach tomorrow afternoon. We'll have to wait and see. But here's a look at the 25th. Temperatures still in the upper 80s. I don't think we'll reach 88 degrees Friday. That was our record high in 1927. But we're still looking at very warm conditions as we end this week. Perfect, nearly perfect weather for the Magic City Classic. Dry conditions, temperatures for the parade, 8 a.m., upper 60s, low 70s, 10 a.m., 12 o'clock there, 80 degrees. Take a look at those weather headlines. Dry and sunny week, near record highs Thursday and Friday. Plus, we're tracking cooler temperatures as we head into next week. We'll talk more about that when we take a look at that 7-day with JP Dice. JP?
All right, that's a warm forecast today, and we've got 1 month remaining in the hurricane season for the Atlantic Basin. Meteorologist Matt Daniel joins us now. He's going to be talking about the latest in areas that we may still be watching this hurricane season.
Well, we got another month or so to go before hurricane season officially ends. It's been very active. When you look at all the numbers, we will say that this season was above average when it came to activity, but really the intensity of these storms, and no doubt we'll likely see a couple of these maybe get retired once they get reviewed or going into next year. So if I had to make a bet, probably Helene and probably Milton will easily get retired based off the damage they produced across the southeast. So typically hurricane season peaks in September 10th. This is where we're at. So we're finishing it up going into the final month of the hurricane season. So we're about 10-15% left of the season. And just to give you an idea, when it comes to tropical activity, we don't see a lot of activity in November. We may pick up 1 or 2 storms. Sometimes you'll see activity form in the middle of the central Atlantic, and usually the Caribbean is very active. And we'll see systems develop and then they get swept away, staying away from the United States as cold fronts and areas of high pressure build in, kind of protecting us from getting forming any of those tropical systems. But just looking ahead, the Climate Prediction Center have issued their outlook for October 30th through November 5th, and there's 2 spots they're watching in the long range. A lot of the models are showing maybe deepening areas of low pressure, lots of tropical moisture developing once again in the Caribbean, which once again in this time of the year is very common to see, and also perhaps just north and east of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. So we'll just watch these 2 areas as we go into next week and into the following week. So it's just something to watch. I will note that the GFS model in particular continuing to show something, but it's just way too early to know if anything will form and exactly where it will go. But I will say this, based off the overall pattern, we've had these cold fronts move through, high pressure protecting us. Hopefully anything that forms will get steered out into the Atlantic. But just looking ahead into next week, notice even as we go towards Halloween, starting to show maybe a tropical system forming in the Caribbean, but it's a long ways away. We'll just have to watch it, monitor it, and we'll keep you updated on the forecast right here on Weather Extra and, of course, through the WBRC First Alert Weather app.
All right, thank you very much, Matt Daniel. We are headed to Utah now in Greene County, where we are programming NOAA weather radios. Wes Wyatt and much of the First Alert weather team hanging out there at Mills Pharmacy and working those weather radios. You're meeting a lot of folks out there. Have you programmed a lot of radios and set people up with our First Alert weather app, Wes?
Man, JP, it's been a steady flow of folks in here all afternoon. I've been hearing so many stories about all the severe weather that's happened here in Utah. I talked to a lady earlier, said they are still recovering. They had major damage from 2 storm systems that moved through this area. Now, we're here until 7 o'clock, but of course, we want to give you the weather extra on these weather radios. Meteorologist Shinty Rodriguez here and Lauren Linehan. Lauren, you were doing a great job. And by the way, I want to explain the toothbrush. And this is when we open up the back of these things, sometimes we find some batteries that have been there for a little too long, and it's important that we always change the batteries in these NOAA weather radios. But Lauren, some things to look for, if you have one of these at home, how you can program.
Yeah, one of the most important things is, first of all, know which county you live in, but also know where you're in your county, you're oriented to the nearest radio transmitter. So that's what the set the channel option is here on the radio. So for example, if you live here in Utah, you want to set it to channel 1 because that's the Tuscaloosa transmitter. Now the Demopolis transmitter isn't that far away. If you live a little closer to Demopolis, then you would switch to channel 4. So of course these weather radios come with instructions, but if you get a little frustrated with those instructions sometimes, It's just nice to come out to these events because we can do them really quickly for you and try to figure out where you're best oriented in your city to where that radio transmitter would be, because that's the only way you're going to be able to hear the alerts.
Exactly, and we're helping with the weather app and also meteorologist Shinty Rodriguez. Shinty, we talk about the Spanish-speaking community and receiving weather alerts. You provide a lot of that information as well.
Exactly. Every day I will write my story, I will make the weather forecast video, and if you have our app, you can go just below into the tab that says Primera Alerta del Tiempo, and you will find the weather story there, and be prepared and be ready and know what's going to happen in the weather. So
And I want to mention, too, we have an external antenna here, but you can find these external antennas if you live in an outlying area where it's difficult to pick up the signal on the weather radio. If you have difficulty hearing the signal, we have the tones. They actually have a little device that will a little strobe light that goes with the weather radio to signal that alert. But we'll check back in with you here at Mills Pharmacy until 7 o'clock in Utah. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt for Weather Extra.
All right, thanks, Wes. In 30 seconds, we continue to talk about the warming trend as we head into the rest of the week. Plus, take you on a cool trip to see those cool fall colors. Find out where. We'll be right back. All right, first alert, weather extra. Let's check out that out the door forecast for tomorrow. So we start off a little bit on the cool side. Those temperatures coming in the 50s by 11 a.m., 74 degrees by 3 p.m., 82. Area wide would not surprise me at all to see those high temperatures working their way up into the mid to upper 80s. So it is going to be a warm day tomorrow, as we've been mentioning. Could be looking at some record-breaking temperatures not only on Thursday, but again on Friday. Here's a live look at Chelsea, looking to the south across Highway 36. Current temperature is 75 degrees. The winds right now fairly light at about 3 miles per hour. And one more check at Walker County. It's already down to 63 degrees, 59-degree dew point, so some nice dry air mass in place. As we get in toward Friday, it looks like temperatures are getting warm, but no rain. No big surprise there for Friday night football games. That is the latest on your quick forecast. Tania?
Thanks, JP. Well, listen, I know many people are getting in the spooky spirit if they haven't already. So let's talk about those evening forecasts for those of you heading out to a haunted house. Ooh. Here's that haunted house forecast tomorrow evening, 7 p.m., low 70s, 9 o'clock, mid 60s, 11 p.m., low 60s. Really a good evening for a haunted house. I say that forecast is quite near perfect, but what about that forecast for Halloween? Let's take a look at that. Okay, for those of you wanting to go trick-or-treating and you're like, hey, what does next Thursday look like? Give me a quick glimpse. I know it's not on the 7-day forecast, but I'm trying to plan my costume, right? Here's a look, a sneak peek to Halloween. Thursday, anywhere from 77 to 82 degrees, upper 70s, low 80s. But get this, we're tracking dry conditions for your Halloween day and night. But as we've been talking about here on Weather Extra, the deeper we get into the fall season, the more those fall colors emerge. Mickey Ferguson talked with the Heart of Dixie Railroad Museum about how they're giving visitors the best views of those colors.
The Heart of Dixie Railroad Museum is offering visitors a scenic ride through Alabama's beautiful autumn colors. And joining us with more is Lindsay Barnett from the Heart of Dixie Railroad Museum. And I'm just finding more about all this. So you have a train ride to see our beautiful fall colors. Tell us about it. Welcome in.
Thank you. We do. We have a historic train. Our oldest train car is from 1910. Ooh. And so there's a lot of history there. But you get to board the train and ride it through the woods of Shelby County and explore the beauty that's happening this time of year.
So you see the beautiful colors now. Part of the whole experience, I'm sure there's food and drink and all this. Tell us about the whole experience.
We'll have food vendors on site, so you're welcome to grab something to eat, enjoy the picnic pavilion on site, and spend some time together. We just finished with Pumpkin Patch, and so we had lots of the younger kids that came out for that event, and we find that a lot of our audience for this event is seniors. They're experiencing the nostalgia of train rides and just sitting back, relaxing, and it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
let somebody
lovely.
else do the driving, and you just don't have to have the spouse telling you how to drive through the fall colors. Look at that train. That is really cool. And so train buffs probably love this experience as well, right?
They do. It's an SW8. It's a diesel electric, and then our little steam train.
Look at that.
The little steam train, the narrow gauge there, is what we're going to use throughout the day as well. So you can get tickets to ride 2 trains on both days. And then also the narrow gauge steam train will be active on Thursday this week for Track or Treat in Calera.
Track or Treat?
Track or Treat.
So how does that work?
You get to get tickets for $5 and ride through the woods. It's in the evening, which is a unique experience.
Does it stop at different events and you get candy, or how does that work?
Main Street Calera is doing an event that night as well, and so you can explore the Main Street area in Calera and then come on over to the train museum that's just right across the street and track or treat with us.
So if you don't like one train, hop on board another one.
There you go.
Now, do they decorate at different stops on the fall color? I noticed a big old large pumpkin there.
The big pumpkin will be on the track or treat event, and we just had it, of course, at our pumpkin patch event last weekend as well.
Now, how do you buy tickets for this? Can you get them online?
You do. So our website is HODRRM. Those are our initials.
HOD?
RRM, railroadmuseum.org, and you can get tickets for this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, or next weekend, Saturday, Sunday.
Now, you say it applies to seniors. Is there a number we can call if we want to get online and do all this stuff?
Sure.
What do we do?
It's 668-3435.
3435 area code
205.
205. So there's all the information.
There it is.
Thank you very much. All aboard.
We'd love to have y'all come aboard.
All aboard. Still ahead on First Weather Extra, we continue to talk about the heat expected for your Thursday and Friday, plus take you beyond the atmosphere to the world's largest camera. We'll be right back.
All right, let's check out what's happening right now on AccuTrack, and no rain showing up. It is a clean sweep on radar. 68 degrees right now in Pell City, 70 Talladega, 75 Tuscaloosa, 63 in Coleman. Our first alert weather headlines. Let's talk about it. Dry weather continues near record high temperatures, and it's going to be just about that much cooler next week with highs in the upper 70s. Tonight, our overnight low around 55 degrees. So the kind of setup where you have a light jacket in the morning and you get rid of it in the afternoon, because tomorrow, during the afternoon, expect those temperatures to be close to record highs, if not climbing past those records. We have a little cold front right here. You can see it on our infrared satellite picture. That cold front's going to come through Saturday night into Sunday. You are probably not going to notice a thing. Otherwise, maybe a little bit cooler on Sunday than on Saturday, but that's probably only going to be 4 or 5 degrees. Hour by hour forecast. Let's take you through the next 24 hours. This is a snapshot of 10 o'clock tonight. Temperatures lower to mid 60s, and we're going to fast forward through 6 a.m. tomorrow. 56 for Gadsden, 61 Rockford, Centerville at 56 degrees, 55 Fayette, and stop at the clock 10 a.m. on Thursday in the lower 70s. And here we come with highs in the lower to mid 80s coming up for tomorrow. So that 24-hour forecast is essentially going to be fairly dry out there. Notice our winds out of the north. All right, football forecast. Sideline, high school, 72 degrees, 7 p.m. on Friday, 80 on Saturday for the Alabama game. Missouri comes to town Saturday. Also, big day. It's the Magic City Classic. Temperatures coming in at 83 degrees. Parade time, that temperature is going to be in the upper 70s. Auburn and Kentucky, 63 degrees and not a drop of rain. Trick-or-treaters sneak peek at Halloween, 0 chance of rain. Temperatures ranging from 77 to 82 degrees. And our 10-day forecast, you'll only see it right here on WBRC. It looks like 85 degrees. On Thursday, 86 on Friday. Notice near records possible. Saturday and Sunday, a little bit cooler on Sunday, and we'll be in the mid-70s as we get toward the end of the week. Even the 10-day forecast staying dry. By the way, our temperature outlook, and this goes right on through early November, unseasonably warm. We continue with a warm and dry weather pattern with very little in the way of rain, if any, rain chances over the next couple of weeks. That is it for your forecast. Tania, we're going to check back in Greene County, see what the rest of our friends are.
Oh yeah, JP, we're headed back to Utah, Alabama, specifically Mills Pharmacy. Could you tell us more about the event, Lauren, and how things have been shaping up? I know we're coming to the close of the event, but people still have a little bit of time. What can they expect?
Yeah, Tania, you know, we are going to be officially wrapping up here at 7 p.m. at Utah in Mills Pharmacy, but someone scooted in the door right at the last minute. We just made a friend here, Miss Maddie Strode. She is a huge fan of WBRC, and we asked, do you want to come get a weather radio? And she said, no, just want to come say hi. So, Miss Maddie, I know you've lived here, you said in Utah, your entire life.
My entire life.
How would you describe the weather in Utah?
The weather is kind of nice here. It's calm some days, and we did have a storm about 3 years ago here that tore up a community in Branch Heights. Community, it tore it up completely. But we were fortunate there were no fatalities, and we're just so thankful for that, and we're just thankful for WBRC providing all the news that we need to know about the weather and getting us ready and prepared for it.
Thank you. And we are so happy to do that. It's so important to get out in the community and see you all, because otherwise we're just staring into the abyss of a camera.
Exactly.
But then we can see our viewers like Miss Maddie here in person. And
Exactly.
You were telling me that you've got a really fun event coming up this weekend that you're going to, right?
Yes, Magic City Classic in Birmingham, Alabama. I'll be there.
Yes, because you're an alumna, right?
I am. I'm a 1975 graduate of Alabama A&M. Go Bulldogs.
Well, I think we've had a lot of Magic City Classic weekends where the weather just doesn't work out in our
But
favor.
this weekend seems to be perfect. There's no rain in the forecast. No rain.
Here. Well, Tania and JP, I hope y'all haven't given the Magic City Classic forecast already, because Miss Maddie here, she's got us covered. But thank you so much for coming out here
Thank you all for
today.
being here in our community today.
We're happy to do it.
Thank you again. Okay.
And we'll get her a weather radio programmed at some point,
At
too.
some point, we will.
Because they are such a vital tool to have.
They
But
are.
she did say she watches this all the time.
I do.
And you have
every
the
day.
app, right?
I do. I do have the app.
Perfect.
So
That's-
I'm prepared.
Well, good. Well, thank you so much for
You're
coming out
welcome.
here today. And we'll send it back to you guys. Hopefully we'll have more events like this in the future, JP and Tania.
Oh, thanks, Lauren. Hi, Miss Maddie. So great to see you through the camera, and we thank you so much for being a supporter of WBRC and all of our viewers and supporters out there. We thank you all from the bottom of our hearts. But JP showed this. We are looking at above average temperatures as we look beyond the 7-day, closing out October, starting off November. The only areas that I'm seeing that could be seeing below average temperatures is really areas across the west portions of the nation, stretching from Washington down to portions of Arizona and New Mexico. But for us and most states across the U.S., we'll be dealing with above average temperatures, which doesn't mean all areas will be hot. It just means where they're typically at during this time of the year, well, they could be seeing warmer than usual conditions. But as we look at precipitation, October 29th through November 2nd, here at home, we're looking closer to average, still likely dry as we start off the first few days of November, but we'll let you know if any wet weather is expected in the days ahead. But don't go anywhere. We have your final check on your weather and a cool story that'll take space discoveries to another level. We'll be right back. Well, JP, check this out. You're looking at the 3200 megapixel camera being installed at Chile's Vera Rubin Observatory. Once operational, it will capture ultra-detailed images of the entire visible sky over the next decade. Astronomers are excited, I am too, and expect over the next years to discover billions of stars, galaxies, and celestial objects.
That's a big camera.
That is huge.
That's a big camera. You see, the people are like this big.
I know.
All right, 7-day forecast or 10-day forecast. Let's show it to you. Temperatures tomorrow near record breaking. You can see the 85 tomorrow,
warm.
86 on Friday.
Dress light.
Yeah.
Have a sweater for the evening, but you really don't need that. We'll have more forecast updates for you tonight, first at 9 and again at 10.
We'll see you later.